Assalamu alaikum. Suleiman here. Let's slay some demons. Brothers and sisters, we want to talk about this war from a Daniel perspective. I've been talking about it the last few days, and I'm going to continue talking about it because it's going to happen very soon. So we're all upon you. Those you're paying attention, you'll benefit. Those you're not, some of you are going to be very surprised. And surprise will not be pleasant for some of you. But we're not concerned about the demons and the devils and the scriptees and the time anchors. I said the time anchors, that's exactly what they are. Time anchors are trying to hold time back. Time cannot be held back. So he's lost in the past, and every day he get more lost, deeper and deeper in the past. You see the graveyard full of people who are time anchors, who were time anchors. They're lost in the past. If you're in the graveyard, you're lost in the past. You're not in the present. If you're alive, you're in the present. Unless you're a time anchor, that means you're dying because you're not moving forward. You're thinking backward, looking backward, acting backwards. You're no threat to us because we're in the present, moving into the future. We're time travelers. We move forward through time. That's the believers. That's the purpose of giving the books. See, you get those books every 25,000 years. Those books are written, right, to move you through time. You follow those books, you're a believer. You move forward through time. See? If you're status quo, that means you're not moving through time anymore. See, you're happy with time as it is. You don't want to go any further. That's the jinn. See? The jinn are Sunnis. They don't want to go forward. They're trying to reach back into 1,400 years back into the time of Muhammad. It's not going to happen. And scriptees trying to reach back 45 years to the time of Elijah. Not going to happen. That's how you know these people. Because they're always talking about the past. If you're talking on a private level, regret. They're always talking about regret and all these characteristics. I mean, it's pretty obvious who the scriptees are, who the time makers are, disbelievers, and the jinn. The jinn says, no, I'm not moving forward. So he's talking about the past. You made me. See, you made me, right? You made, that's past tense. It's right in the scripture right there. You made me. What's that got to do with the present? See? And Sunnis, they've lost in the past. I keep trying. Hey, listen to them. Just listen to them. See? They're lost in the past. They think they're going to revive Muhammad's empire. Not going to happen. The Injil is the book. The Quran is irrelevant as a guide for this time. It was relevant for 1,000 years. Its relevancy started dissipating 500 years ago. Well, it has value. I mean, I use it to recite it. Definitely. It definitely has value. It gives you the heart of God. You need to study. Farad recited the Quran for 6 to 8 hours every night. You think that's easy? You think he did just because it was fun? So it has that value, but it doesn't have it. Did any of them see any of this coming? This world, this year, as it is right now, any of them see this coming. The scholars, they know all about the Quran. They know everything about it. They got the bees and the golden Quran and all this stuff. Did any of them see any of this coming? Not one of them. Not one. Only one saw it coming is me, because the angel reveals it. So we're not worried about those, like I said, time anchors. They're lost in the past. Do not fear them, not worry about them, because every day they get weaker and weaker. Because every day the past becomes more distant, doesn't it? Every day the past becomes more distant. That's why the Quran says it becomes ever weak. Because every day they become weaker and weaker and weaker because they become more lost in the past. Can anybody 1,000 years ago affect you today? They may have had knowledge and everything that may benefit you, but they're gone. And their knowledge is fast fading. If they had any at all. So we're going to talk about the king of the north and the king of the south. That's this war. And we're going to go into Daniel and try to explain what that means. As I said, I'm very reluctant to talk about Daniel, but Daniel has perspective. See, Daniel is a companion book to the angel. And this presentation is going to demonstrate that in a very profound way. Because the story about the king of the north and king of the south cannot be ciphered in Daniel. It's the story is there, but you can't decipher it in Daniel. And you'll see it in a minute. So, just before we get into it now, you see what's going on now? Look at what's going on. This get more and more confusing. This Breonna Taylor thing, do you understand that? It highlights the point I've been making. Everything that happens on the earth, in the universe, is going to back everything I'm telling you, brothers. This is right on time, and the whole universe is groaning and straining to bring you, the seed of Abraham, back on top to your rightful place. So we have a tailwind that you wouldn't believe. And everything is bearing witness to everything I'm saying. And you think you wait till the four winds blow. Everything I'm telling you right now is going to come, is coming into focus, and it's going to come into focus like a nuclear bomb in a minute. Look at this Breonna Taylor thing. Now, what's the point I've been making about cultures? That underscores it in a very profound way, because they can't do anything, those police officers, because they were obeying the law. They were obeying the law. The law does, they were obeying the law. It was unjust what they did. Totally. Everybody can understand that was totally unjust, but it was legal. It was totally unjust, but it was legal. That's the point I've been making over and over and over again. You got two distinct cultures, and the law is your culture. The law is the rules that define your culture. It's the parameters of your culture. That's what the law is. You wouldn't make laws that go against your culture. It's that democracy and everything, the confusion of it all, that's their code, that's their nature. That's what they keep coming back to it, that's their nature. The laws just reflect that. It's like I said, it's the mathematics, or it defines, right, their culture. That's what laws are. And law enforcement is there to enforce those laws, to protect your culture, to promote your culture. So if you got a different culture there, then that culture is going to be at odds with the other culture. You have two cultures. You have one a dominant culture and one subservient culture. A subservient culture in a dominant culture, a nation within a nation. If you don't have two laws and two law enforcements, then one is oppressing the other. Because their laws is an expression of their culture. Their law enforcement enforces that. But if we have a different culture, right, then that law is oppressive to us, because it will not allow us to express our culture, because our culture requires a different set of laws that's alien to their laws. If we have the same laws, then we have the same culture. But if you have different culture, then you're going to be oppressed by the dominant culture. By definition, you're going to be oppressed by it. Because their laws is going to be against your laws, your nature, your culture. And so therefore, you are criminalized in their culture, in their laws, in their nation. You criminalized. Because if you take and assert yourself, assert your culture, right, it'll be against theirs. I mean, you'll be against the law. So you have to go against your nature, go against yourself in order to live in that society. Because that's such society would be unjust for you. By definition, it's just for them, but it's unjust for you. There's no justice for us here. The only ones who have justice here are them and their seed, their demon seed. That's why they have no problems with this. See? But they're in conflict with you. And so you have this democratic party that's them. And the laws they make are what? Taking your jobs away, putting you in prison, aborting your children, 22 million black children in 50 years. And then they want you to keep supporting them because they see nothing wrong with it because that's their culture, that's their laws. But look what it's doing to us. Because we have a different culture, have a different nature, we require different laws. So therefore, if we act ourselves, we become criminal. A lot of those black people in prison, right, are people that they wasn't wise enough to figure it out. So they was acting out themselves, and so therefore, by definition, they be criminals. So they're in jail, in prison. And a lot of you clap, oh man, them niggas in prison. Well, some of the best children of Israel, some of the best children of Shabbat, see Abraham are in prison. That's why one of the things he's going to do, he's going to take and release the captives. They're coming out of those prisons very soon. They're coming out of those prisons very soon. Okay. You need to understand what's going on, brothers and sisters. Okay. You got the demons, the devil's seed, tar babies. What's a tar baby? A devil dipped in tar. Black on the outside. That's what slave master, the demons are. Slave master's children, house Negroes, they're tar babies. And just because black, well, look, you got people in India, they're black. Are they your brothers and sisters? Everybody's black, they're part of you. Get real. You have people in India darker than most of you. You have people in China as dark as some of you. In Japan also, all over the place. Are they your people? Are they a tribe of Shabazz? Are they the seed of Abraham? Better get real, brothers and sisters. Because some of you are going to really suffer this tribulation. Some of you are really going to suffer. And we're going to talk about that in a minute. So let's go into it. And maybe I have some few remarks in the back end. Let's go into it and see how we do. Okay, brothers and sisters. King of the North versus King of the South. This is found in Daniel. Now, Daniel is very subtle book. Now there's a lot of subtleties in the angel, but it's a little different. Angels is more structured than Daniel is. But Daniel is a supplement to the angel. The book of Daniel has 12 chapters, and the book of the angel has 22. But the 13th chapter of the angel is the 13th chapter of Daniel, because you'll find the major symbols, the leopard, the bear, they're found in chapter 13. That's the only place they found an angel. So that's where they converge at. And, well, why we care about that? Well, it's important because this here, if you understand this presentation, it will give you some idea of why that's so. Because the two work together. A lot of symbols that are in the angel, some of them are defined in Daniel, as for instance, the iron represents European countries. See? Okay. Okay, I just want to mention this about the four winds, because they're about to blow. See? Now you do not need to have anything written to you about times and dates, brothers, for you yourselves know very well their Lord will come like a thief. And that means it's going to come suddenly without you expecting it. And it's going to come, brothers, and we're on the verge of it. If you understood how close it was, somebody might be amazed. When people say there's peace and security, destruction will come, strike them as sudden as labor pains come to a pregnant woman, and they will not be able to escape. That's angel language. So who are they talking about? It says, when people say, what people? It's about them. So that them is referring back to the people. So these people, who is these people that's going to be saying peace? The people that's be saying peace and security is the ones that's going to be that's going to be destroyed. The ones that say peace and security, those are the ones going to be destroyed. So who is saying peace and security? We say in the Middle East right now, they're saying peace and security because now the Arabs are finally coming around and they're going to make peace with Israel, which is probably a big deal. And said that's what the atmosphere will be in the time, right, at the end. So, and it says, when you see it happening, right, destruction is right at your fingertips. Destruction will strike them as suddenly. So now I talked about it, that means destruction's right on the way, right? It's at your doorstep, and they will not escape. There's some hints there, strike them as suddenly as labor pain come to a pregnant woman. We talk about this pregnant woman situation. See, that gets back to the fall of Babylon. So Babylon falls, if you understand the angel we're talking about, now it has two under them. So that means it's pregnant now. See, those of you who are paying attention to angel, you know what I'm talking about. See, so those are the ones that will not escape. See, that's America and false Israel. America is pregnant in that situation with false Israel. They will not escape. See, but the day of the Lord will come as a thief in the night, in which heaven shall pass away with great noise. I talked about that in my presentation. The elements shall melt with fervent heat, and earth, all its works that are there shall be burned up. I explained that in the previous presentation. The works represents America and Britain, right? The earth represents European countries, but the works, see, the spirit of the earth represents the Shia. They're the top two. The works, right, represents the middle two. That's America and Britain. And the but, if you got the transliteral, represents the bottom two. See? You're not going to get that in the King James, the but. But if you get transliteral, you'll be surprised. It says, it calls itself the but. In fact, that personality character you see in chapter 1, that everybody keeps saying that's Jesus. Those of you paying attention know that right there tells you what the hell they're talking about. They can't even get past that one. It says he's like the Son of Man. Like the Son of Man. There's right past that word. Like means you're not. See? A Toyota may be like a Nissan, but that means it's not a Nissan. If it's like it, something like something, that means it's not it. It may be similar, but it's not it. So he's like the Son of Man. That means he's not the Son of Man. He's something similar. Similar in what way? That's another story. Let's move on. Okay, I'm not going to go. I went to a presentation about the Ram, and I'm going to go right to cut to the chase. I'm not going to elaborate on that one. So it's here. Maybe I might jump around on this one. And maybe I might jump around, but I probably won't. Okay, here we go. Okay. At the point in time, he will return and come into the south. Make sure I didn't pass anything here. Okay, here we go. Now, in those times, many will rise against the king of the south. The violent ones among your people will also lift themselves up in order to fulfill the vision, but they will fall. Remember, I talked in a previous video about Ishmael and Isaac, right? So that's talking about, remember, they're our people. The Arabs are our brothers and sisters. See, the violent ones will lift themselves to fulfill the vision. Remember, I keep talking about these time makers? They're trying to reestablish the kingdom of Muhammad, but they will fall down or fail. So it's talking about the king of the south here. Then the king of the north will come, cast up a siege ramp, and capture a well-fortified city. Now, who is this king of the south? Who is this king of the north? So you can't determine that out of Daniel all by itself. That's what we'll get into in a minute. And the fourth, so I'm to cut the chase here. We'll explain it in a few minutes, right? The king of the south represents America. The king of the north represents Iran. See? Then the king of the north will come and cast a siege ramp and capture a well-fortified city. What's the well-fortified city in the Middle East? That's false Israel. And the force of the south, that's America, will not stand their ground. They won't be able to stand. They won't be able to hold. They won't be able to stand there. See, they're going to be knocked down. They won't be able to stand their ground. Not even their choice is true. They're going to put their best troops in there to try to stop the Iranians. But there'll be no strength to make a stand. They won't be able to stand up against the Iranians. That's just talked about here. We're going to talk a little more about it in a little bit. Let's go past. Let's just go past. Okay, here we go. Now, understand, you have to go into the Injil to find who the king of the north is, who the king of the south is. See? Okay. This is where we are in time right now. Well, no, excuse me. This is where we're going to be in a minute. Now, this doesn't make sense after just looking at this, because what this is saying is here's Iran and Syria at war with false Israel, and America and Britain. They're under it. That's why one's covering the other, because they're at war with each other. They're conflict with each other. Now let's go to the next one and show it. See, it was and then what happens is they couldn't stand their ground, right? And false Israel was laid siege to, so they kicked out now. Michael and his angels with the war of the dragon and his angels. That's what it's talking about. So now the dragon's angels, that's House of Saud, America, false Israel, and Britain. Those are the dragon's angels. Now they kicked out of heaven. But Michael and his angels, that's the Shia, because the Shia are, Michael Efrat is the Shia's trophy man, right? They're victorious. They kicked them out. So we talk about the king of the north, king of the south. Okay. Now we're going to look more into it, but just cut the chase here. It talks about the king of the north, king of the south. Okay, here you go. They get into it. See? King of north is Iran. It's north. King of south, south of it, right? And then you got the one with the east. And then it says, and we're going to go into that in a minute, it says, and then tidings out of the east and out of the north shall trouble him. And he goes forth to destroy. What's the tidings? That means Iran and false Israel got into it, right? They lay siege to false Israel, and America comes try to defend it, and they can't do it. Better talk about it. Ties out of north and east, trouble them. See, east is north, is east, right? Is east of America. And that's how you get it. Because they're using this construct to break down with this idea about, because otherwise you wouldn't know what they mean by the tribes out of the east and tribes out of the north meant. That's what we're talking about. Okay? So now they're knocked down. This gets back to Jerusalem surrounded by armies. We're not going to talk about that. Okay, so let's back up here. Let's back up. Now we talk about that. Let's back up and see what. Now, if you understand that, maybe you understand this other scriptures because it's very important. Okay, here we go here. At the end time, the king of the south, we're in time now, will collide with him. That's America, is going to collide with the king of the north. And the king of the north will storm against him with chariots, with horsemen, and many ships. See, Trump's like, they may have messed up, we'll kill them 10 times greater. We got weapons nobody can understand. Well, this is what's going to happen. And he will enter the countries, overflow, and then pass through. Also enter the beautiful land, and many countries will fall, but these were rescued out of his hand, Edom, Moab, and the foremost of the sons of Ammon. I'm not going to go into, I said we can spend all day, all night, bringing all these symbols down. They will stretch out his hand against the other countries, and the land of Egypt will not escape. See, the land of Egypt will not escape. We talk about who Egypt is. But he will gain control over all the hidden treasures of gold and silver and over all the precious things of Egypt. See? What is that talking about? That's talking about our return, but I'm not going to go into that. And the Ethiopians will follow at his heels. But rumors from the east and from the north will disturb him. He will go forth with great wrath, destroy and annihilate many. He will pitch the tents of his royal pavilion between the seas and the beautiful holy mountain, yet he will come in and none will help him. Remember the ram, none will help him? Talking about the ram, America and Britain. See, none will help him. That's what he's talking about, America, right? So they're going to take, he says, when he's going to go forth with great wrath. Okay, I'm going to go back to another one. I'm going to explain this a little bit. But you got to understand the situation here, bros. That's why you got to put all this in perspective. When the reason, the purpose for false Israel being there is to take and circumvent the narrative that Elijah Muhammad explained that we're a true seed of Abraham. So they said, no, we can't allow that narrative. So we got to put up a false Israel and we got to defend them to the last man to make sure that nothing happens to them, because they had to be the proof that they're a true seed of Abraham and that we're nothing. See, because they don't want that covenant to be fulfilled, that we can't be a true seed of Abraham, because if we're a true seed of Abraham, who are they? That means false Israel is false. That means America is going to be punished for what they did to us. Read the covenant. See? So it says, he will go for a great wrath to destroy and annihilate many. See? So this gets back to the desolation of the Parliament plus, right, destruction of us. Let me put it this way. Their plan is to destroy us. One way to destroy us, right, by and redefining us. By putting false Israel, that means we're nobody. But now the false Israel is gone, that means we must be the true seed of Abraham. See, because they can't let that covenant be fulfilled, because that covenant is death to them. That covenant is death to them. Now I talked about how two cultures, if they want the world, they're trying to keep the world like they want it. That's good for them, their laws. But if we institute our laws, right, that'd be oppressive to them. They can't let us emerge. It's either us or them, they know that. So now, great wrath to destroy and annihilate many. They talk about two things here. Primarily, they get rid of us. Because now it's known that we're a true seed of Abraham, right? To destroy and annihilate, that means get rid of. They ain't saying to go and conquer, say to annihilate. Why you want to annihilate something? That means they want to get rid of us, period. That'd be the end of it. Get rid of us, period. They tried everything. They tried abortion, it says it. They tried abortion, throw us in the river, everything. Said, fine, just annihilate them all. Said, that's where we go. This is what Trump will do. Because he's going to be under great pressure of the evangelicals and everybody, even the Sunnis. Get rid of those people. We can't let those people, because if they rise up, then we're through. Okay, here we go. This will explain some things here. At the point in time we return and come to the south, this last time it will return. But this last time it will not turn out the way it did before. See, they attacked Iran before, but this time it's not going to work. Because when they attacked Iran the first time in the 80s, right, Iran didn't have anything. No planes, no trains, no planes, no tanks. They had nothing, pretty much. They had pretty much nothing. But so it won't turn out this way. For ships of Kittim will come against him, therefore he be disheartened and return, become enraged at the holy covenant. See this connect back what I just said. He's enraged. Remember, he's full of wrath. He's enraged. See? He's enraged. King of North, King of South, he's enraged now. That's what I just said, the one I just said previously. He's enraged. Enraged, right? At what? At the holy covenant. The covenant of Abraham. That's the only covenant they're talking about here. He's enraged. And take action. He will take action. You got to put it together, brothers. He will take action. If he's enraged, that's what his action, what was action be? To annihilate us. So you sitting around here, all you people out here, scratching your ass, talking this big bullshit that y'all talk on Facebook and everything else. You won't be talking that in a few more days. See, when you get caught up, because hunger is two things that what make every person on this planet, how dumb you are, wise. Hunger and fire. And you're about to get hit with both of them. So come back and show regard for those who forsake the covenant. See, he's going to be with those who forsake the covenant. Those that with him, they're going to unite with him against us. You see, who forsakes the covenant? Farrakhan and his boys, those demons. We ain't going nowhere. That's the essence of the covenant. That's the whole promise. That's the reward for what we went through. That's the only part of the covenant that's left. The only executable part of the covenant left is the reward. And they forsake that. They said, we ain't going nowhere. He's talking about them. I told you, he works for Satan. He shall regard for those who forsake the holy covenant. Forces from him will arise. Let's create a sanctuary for and do the regular sacrifice. See? They're going against the nation of Islam. Elijah Muhammad's nation of Islam. And they will set abomination of desolation. By smooth words, he will turn to godliness those who act weakly towards the covenant. See? That's Farrakhan's people. See? They, he will, by smooth words, return to godliness those who act wickedly towards the covenant. That's the demons in there. The demons. That's, you got to put these two things together. That's the demons in there. Because now they're exposed. And they ain't gonna pretend to be Muslims anymore. You see? Because they're acting wickedly towards the covenant. They say we ain't going nowhere. They're hanging with Farrakhan, so we ain't going nowhere. If you say we ain't going nowhere, that means you hate the covenant. Because that's the reward. It's time to get paid. You say, you don't get paid. Well, everything is already done. Now it's time to be paid. If they say we ain't going nowhere, we're not going to get paid. You understand what he's talking about? Because let's make a distinction. They keep making a distinction between the demons and the saints, the chaff and the wheat. So they make this two, they put two, they say, remember these ones, they turn to godliness. Remember, see, make the connection here, the pattern, God, and then the ones who know they're God. It's two different. So the demons, they're the godliness against God, and the people who know they're God, that's Elijah Muhammad's followers. That's the difference between Aaron's followers. See, it gives you more detail than Daniel. That's Aaron's followers, and because they're worshiping the golden calf, but it says they're going to turn to godliness. They're going to forsake any notion of being cause of being Muslim. They're going, you know, they're exposed now. Now they even try to claim they're Muslims. See, but those know God. See, that's, remember Aaron's followers, right? They were separated from Elijah's followers. Aaron's followers, they went over to the golden calf. Then you got Elijah's followers, and Elijah's followers was given to slay all of Aaron's followers. See, I told you there's a conflict in the Nation of Islam right now. In Elijah Muhammad's Nation of Islam right now is a conflict. That's what it says, demon-possessed man. It's a conflict. One wanted to go with Joshua. They ran to meet him, and they wanted to help him out, work with him. And the Legion, Louis Eugene Grounds, the demons, no, they didn't want. One wanted to leave and one wanted to stay. See? But the people who know their God will display strength and take action. That's the Levites. That's the Elijah Muhammad's followers. Remember, I told you, they're not seed of Abraham. They're Levites, but they were adopted into our tribe. So they have a right to our reward, but not the inheritance. But they suffer, we suffer, it was grafted in. So if you have adopted children, you teach them like you treat your other children. But they don't get the inheritance. Your own children, your own blood get the inheritance. See? But they get treated like the rest of the family. Those who have insight among the people give understanding to many. Yet they fall by sword and by flame, by captivity and by plunder for many days. See? Some of those who have insight will fall in order to refine, purge, make them pure until the end time. That gets back to what Jesus told the man that was possessed by demons. Now he's free of demons and has his right mind back. He says, you got to go back and witness. That's what he's talking about. Because Jesus was leaving. He was leaving with his elect. He was getting out of town, but he told the demon-possessed man that was possessed, no, you have to go back and witness. You got to go back to the tribulation because you should have been doing it. You're the tribe of Levi. And you should have been out there doing your job. Was supposed to minister, you understand, to the people, prepare the way before me, Yahshua, or Jesus. And you didn't do that. So now you got to go to tribulation because you got to reach those people. You had 42 years to do it, and you didn't do it. See? If you'd done it then, you would have to go to tribulation. Because people were prepared and ready, and when Joshua came on the scene, right, bam, he got them out of here. But now they got to go to tribulation, and they go to tribulation. You got to go to tribulation with them because you didn't prepare them. Because that was your job. Elijah, I was saying like he prepared the way before me. So Elijah came and did it. He left Aaron behind, right? And they were supposed to fulfill the job Elijah Muhammad had started, and they didn't. See? They haven't done a damn thing. That's what's going on here, brothers and sisters. Hope you understand. Like I've been saying, there's two resurrections. Now, they try to twist it around and everything. There's one pre-four winds blowing and one post-four winds blowing. So either accept the scriptures or reject it. We're not going to twist it to distort here. We're taking it just like it is. So they want to pull out sentences, add sentences, that's their business. So if the four winds have not blown, that means the second resurrection hasn't taken place. And it says Jesus or Joshua would be the one who resurrects Lazarus. So the four wind hasn't blown, then Lazarus has not been raised yet. Read Ezekiel. But the Levites, which Elijah is a Levite, he raised them. That was pre four winds blowing. That's happened. Now the second resurrection is about to take place. So one of Jesus' miracles, one of the first one was to change water to wine. That means you had the scripture. It would give you life. Water gives you life. But it had no spirit in it. So he broke the seals. And now you see the stuff that you never saw before. And it's playing you in a way you've never seen before. Now it's opened up. Now you get some wisdom, power out of it. See? The second one is to call out the demons and remove demons. That's in process right now. See? That's two miracles right there. So, walk on water. Well, you're not talking about walk on physical water. I'll explain that in the Injil. I don't know if I ever talked about that before, right? But it's not, you have to English, because remember the waters represent Sunnis, and that's another story. But those are two of his miracles. See? He had many miracles. But those are two of the main ones. The third one is to raise Lazarus, right? Which is what happens as soon as the four winds blow. As soon as that war takes place, the four winds will blow, and then Lazarus, and they will come together in companies. I mean, when they come, they'll come to this message like a flood. And those of you who are paying attention, that are working with this, you are blessed because, and you should be studying hard, because you are those who are going to be the ones that's going to guide them, right? When they come in. I can't do it by myself. I'm one person. I got two arms, two heads. I got two arms and two legs like everyone else. See? And so they're going to be those that are being awakened, right? So they can help control this flood when they come in. Because they come in like a flood, brothers and sisters, overnight. Lazarus is going to come up. He's going to come in like a bang, like an explosion. Boom. You're going to see it, like the Quran said, they're coming in companies, which means they're coming like a flood, almost overnight. See? And demons are coming with them. See? But we're going to separate those demons out. See, it says the chaff and the wheat, they came together at harvest, and then they'll be separated. As the Quran said, lo, they are separated. Because what it says here, it says they went forth to annihilate. See? So they'll come together because it's going to be open. Trump is not going to be playing. If you understand scriptures, you know that he's going to be reelected. He's not going to be playing. He's already giving hints right now. He's prepared to do about the violence you see right now. And it says the violence, once the war starts, is going to be way greater than what you see right now. This country will be in total turmoil. But he says their plans to annihilate us, and the mask will be pulled off, and swords coming out, and that's when all black folks come, because they're going to annihilate all black folks. They ain't going to make no choices. At first, right? At first, like I said, those like Farrakhan, those that forsake the covenant, right? He's going to use them. See? But then they don't get. He's going. I'm just saying this, but he's going to use them. Going to have regard for them initially, but they're going to go after everybody. Everybody's coming together. Because black folks, see, we all come, like in the civil rights movement, they all came together, right? But then you had the separation between the integration and the separatists. Those who want to integrate, those who want to segregate, stay away. So they all come together. That's how fierce it's going to be. Because they're going to, and now they come to annihilate you. Because now America knows that you are the true seed of Abraham. It's clear to the whole world because false Israel is gone. And the whole prophecy is once they were established there, they could not be removed, but now they're gone, so that prophecy failed. Like I said, these people, they saying things when they got landmarks, all of a sudden they don't know where they are because all the landmarks they had, right, all of a sudden they ain't there anymore. Well, I was supposed to see that, I'm supposed to see this. Well, we must be lost because I don't see all the things I'm supposed to see. So when they see that, because that's, you got to understand, that false symbol over there is one of the main landmarks that they keying in on. That's one of the main calibrations that they're keying on, because that's the thing they focus on. See, that's false Israel over there, the Israel over there. See, God, that's why America's putting billions and billions of dollars to keep that going, because that shows, if that's true, then we really are Ham. That means they didn't do anything to us, because Ham was supposed to be cursed, to be a servant to his people, to them for eternity. So they ain't doing anything because that was God said. And Farrakhan saying we gave it because we were sinful, which is a lie. So therefore, if we were sinful, right, we've been punished, then you can't blame the jailer and the warden for imprisoning us, or putting us in a hole and solitary and stuff. Because they're disciplining us. You see the idea what's going on here? They're working 24 hours, 24/7 to screw you up, to destroy you, while your ass is 7 times. The NFL and Shaq and all this bullshit, keep on. Like I said, fire and hunger will wake up even a dead man. See? So when you see that happen, that's why they come together. That's why the 4 winds have to come. Who released those 4 winds? Farah released those 4 winds, right? To save your ass, to slow them down, so you get a chance to all come together. See, even the demons coming, but we don't want them, so we throw them back. See, because their idea is, well, maybe we can talk to Master. Let's not do that. Master, why you want to kill us? No, we know the original people ain't thinking like that. They want to get the hell out of here. See, others will try to just stop Master from being so mean. Please don't kill us. We gonna be good. That's their attitude. Same thing back in the civil rights movement, right? Oh, we just want to be, we want to integrate. Just treat us nice. Just accept us. Make us, give us, be nice to us. And we saying, get the hell out of here. That's what's about to happen, brothers and sisters. It says, once that you gotta understand, false Israel, icon of this age. False Israel represents Satan. He's God of this age. Satan would not be, what kind of God would Satan be as the most powerful country in the world? Wasn't under his control. When false Israel goes, that's what it says. When it goes down, that's what he said, ties out of the north and the east. When it goes down, that change is a game changer for the evangelicals, for the Jews. It's a game changer for everybody, because that's not supposed to happen if they're the true seed of Abraham. And once they go down, it's crystal clear that we are the true seed of Abraham, and everything comes clear, and that they've been destroyed. This plague is from God, right? It's going to get worse. And all these other things they're saying, scripture come clear, and they know it's either us or them, and they got the power. They're going to make sure it's them, right? And not us. See? Them meaning they're going to survive and we're going to be annihilated. That's why I use annihilate. Because both of us cannot coexist. The time has come. See? And they know now, once they understand the scriptures, get scriptures clear, get calibrated, right? They know what's in store for them. And they don't want that. They got the power. What would you do? They're going to do everything they can to prevent it. Because once they're broken, right, they will never return. And the hell that's waiting for them is worse than you can ever imagine. It's not something, has that you die, I spoke of that earlier. So that's pretty much it. Pretty much it, bro. Sisters, I think I covered everything I need to cover here. Okay, brothers and sisters, I keep talking about this because we're there now. Every day, it seems like I talk about it almost every day now. Because in a few more days, when we're talking about it, you'll be seeing it, Technicolor, HD. That's how close we are. When they say peace and security, that's what they're saying over there. So, like I said, they're not playing. And they got most of the nations on their side. In fact, all the nations on their side. All the nations are getting, there's not one nation out there that's for us. The only ones for us are the Shia, which most of you have no knowledge of who they are. Farad, he's the god. Those planes you see flying around, they call them planes or wheels. They're about to go into action. All this for you, brothers and sisters. You're going home. The only question is, how? You're going first class or you're going coach or the scenic route. Scenic route is tribulation. But you're going home. Your covenant with death will be broken. Those of you who have been deceived, think stay here and vote for these democratic party, all that kind of stuff, it's will be broken. Because in this election, Trump will win this election. If you understand anything, he has to be the one. I was going to talk about that with Joseph. I talked about Joseph, right? But it says the king after. Well, I'm not going to go into that. Trump is the one. And when he wins this election, you think it's bad now? He's going to win in such a way that it's just going to be like throwing gasoline on this whole thing. I mean, he's on place on fire now, like just pouring tons and tons of gasoline on it. This place is in flames now. They're not telling the whole story. This place is in flames now. And it's going to get 1,000 times worse in a few more days. And I told you about this virus wasn't going any place. Keep promising because the election coming up. It's going to get worse. It's going to get to the millions. They're telling you right now, they're getting scared. They said, it looks like it's going to get out of control. What does that mean? America's gone. It's history. And all these clowns out here, now they're trying to say, yeah, America now, Farrakhan, all the time. Well, it's too late for y'all. I mean, anyway, Farrakhan, you had no, you was lost. That's why I call it son of perdition. You ain't going here after you dead. Ain't nothing you can do. And you take your demons with you. We don't want any of them. We're not going to accept any of your demons. I don't care what they do. They can pray, they can fall, they can squat, they can do everything with it. We don't want you. We don't want any of the devils. We don't want any of you. You're all gone. But you guys clowns, they're talking this BS, pulling shit out their ass, calling it honey. Let them keep on talking. Because watch what happens in a few more days. These preachers and all these guys, oh boy, you're going to see those sights that you've never seen before, brothers and sisters. You're going to see people impaled almost every corner. You know what impalement means? It's like taking a broomstick and shove your rectum and put you up like a popsicle. All these people talking this crap, and now people see that they were just lying and taking their money, had no idea what they was talking about. They confusing them, and now the reason they're going into tribulation because of these fools. That's pre-tribulation. That's happening to them. What's going to happen to them during the tribulation when they catch hold of them? Like Elijah Muhammad said, he would not be in their shoes. Their shoes made of gold and silver and diamonds. All these clowns out here on Facebook and all these social talking. If they're not with me, they're against me. Like I said, if you're not with me, you're against me. If you're not with me, then you're scattering. You can make confusion. That's what Peter was. Peter was one of the disciples. That's Farrakhan. Fast as Jesus was healing people, making them hear, he's cutting their ears off. That's why it's crucified upside down. It means he's hell bound. Crucified upside down, you don't ascend, it means you're descending. Okay, brothers and sisters. So I'm not paying attention, you fools out there. You keep on. Says you're going to be crying and weeping in a minute. In fact, there's no word for the anguish you're going to have. They're going to have to invent a new word instead for the grief that you're going to go through in a few more days for all that bullshit you was talking about because you had no idea, and you know you had no idea what you was talking about. See? But you don't want to come this message. So your blood, so all the blood, these people that go through tribulation is on your hands. Because if you had to listen to this message, God, maybe you still could avoid the tribulation. You still had time, but it's too late now because this war is going to happen so fast, you ain't got time. So you had time if they had listened and got on this they still had, even after Aaron, right? I've been talking for several years. If you had listened during that time, you still could have, if listened to that period of time, right, you still could avoid tribulation. See? But you didn't. So now, like it says, and then it matters the size. So it's too late now. So you keep on deceiving and talking your bullshit and all that stuff. Keep on doing it. What it says in chapter 22 of Revelation, let those who are filthy remain filthy. Let those who are evil remain evil. Those who are wicked remain wicked. Yeah, because we want you to stay like you are. We don't want you to change. Because we got something for you. We got something for you, brothers. You're not brother. We got it for you. Okay. That's it. Assalamu alaikum.